Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is March 24th, 2021, and this is episode 241. We're looking at Lady Baltimore. The Witch Queens is the name of the arc. This is a Dark Horse publication, first of 5 in this arc for $3.99. And a quick look at the cover here. We've got kind of an Art Nouveau styled cover. Very interesting looking. This is Lady Baltimore. I'm not sure of the other, I think there was another story or arc before this. I don't know if it involved her or Lord Baltimore or something along those lines, but she is solo in this as her husband, Lord Baltimore, is deceased. Now she uses conventional weapons, but they seem to be enhanced with magical spells, so to speak. I don't know if she has any magical spells herself, but she's up against obviously witches and spirits and demons and things like that. Let's get into it and see who worked on this. First of all, the story is by Mike Mignola and Christopher Golden. The art is by Bridget Connell. The colors were Michelle Matson. The letters by Clem Robbins, and the cover art was Abigail Larson. Let's take a quick look at that Art Nouveau again. Featuring our main character here, you can see this kind of clawy-looking, root-looking things coming out from all over. Maybe they're supposed to be whiffs of smoke, but nice cover. I like it. Okay, Lady Baltimore to me appears to be a type of Indiana Jones meets The Witcher type character, obviously a female. And this starts out with the action scene where she has walked into a trap. There's all these ghouls and stuff there. She is there in this house somewhere in Europe, I believe. Belgium, is that what they call it? Yeah, Belgium. Trying to save her friend Charlie, who's in the basement, the dungeon they're calling it, who's being captive by a witch. So she goes ahead and sees this as a trap. She's just going to try to jump out this window. She's successful. She's pulled a lot of these ghouly creatures along with her. She gets out and they continue to attack her. One of them is actually able to bite her, and she's able to slash it away. And she stands there. These eyeball things start coming up. And so she shoots one of them. And there appears to be like a whole nest of them. I'm not sure where this is exactly, but it's one of these creatures. Looks like they have winged arms protecting all these little eye eggs, I think. I'm not quite sure exactly. So she goes to reload. She uses some kind of magic bullet here. And when she shoots it, it goes off, splits, and then it goes zigzagging all over, knocking out a lot of these ghouls and these flying eyeballs. And she says she hates to do that, but she knows that they were summoned. It actually goes into that bag of eyeballs, too, and starts killing off the, whatever those things are. They're little babies. In the meantime, she does have someone, Imogen, up on the roof looking out for her. She is a witch as well. And so she calls out to the house, come out, we're here. And the Yelena, the witch inside, comes out to face up with Lady Baltimore here. And she's got her eyeballs, and some of the ghouls are starting to gather around again. As she creates a spell, Imogen throws a spear through her from back and then starts doing some other spells against Yelena. Including a snake spell there. So Yelena is supposed to be one of many witches, and they're all supposed to be very powerful. So they got the jump on her for now, and they're happy about that. Imogen sends that creature off that had all the egg bags. I'm still not sure exactly what that is. If that is a remnant from the previous arc, I'm just not sure. Another reviewer said that if you hadn't read the first arc, some things in here might be a little bit unclear. So she makes her way down to the dungeon, and besides Charlie, there's some priests and Father Rigo, who she seems to know from the previous arc, and he's got like half his face kind of torn off in a past war of some kind. A quick ad for Fear Case. I did review issue number 1 on this. I gave it a not recommend. However, other reviewers seem to really like this, so just you might want to keep a heads up on that if you are interested in kind of a supernatural case involving the Secret Service. I know nothing about this one, so it's probably a skip for me. Okay, she's able to free all the brothers and the priest Rigo. You'll see that his face is kind of scarred up. Rigo really wants to talk to her badly. She says, you can talk to me, but first let's go outside. And as you can see, the witch has got all these spells on her now. And she's saying, why you have so many spells on her? And Lady Baltimore just kind of walks up and whacks her on the side of the head, knocking the witch out. So they take the witch captive. They're ready to leave. This Rigo, you can see the scars really well here. He's just saying, I still need to talk to you. And she says, well, come along then. We'll get on the plane and we'll fly back to the States. So in the meantime, excuse me, to England, from Belgium to England. So in the meantime, they've got the witch tied up really well there. Imogen, excuse me, is trying to heal the bite that Lady Baltimore suffered. The priest comes in and talks to her, just saying that Lord Baltimore has been spotted on the battlefields, and she says it's not possible. He's dead. I'm in charge of everything, the estate and all, and this is Lord Baltimore's sword. And says, well, I'd like to check it out. I want to check the crib to make sure, so I can just put those rumors to rest. So in the meantime, we've got Imogen. I don't know how to say her name, but she continues to try to fix her. And here's a quick Crimson Flower. It's a Russian spy thing. I'm not sure. It looks like it's got some DNA type sub-storyline. And it's a Matt Kint. He seems to be writing a lot of stuff. He wrote Fear Case. He wrote this. He's writing Berserker. He wrote Mind Management, and there's something else too. So he's been pretty busy lately. Anyway, getting back to the story, she's trying to fix up her a little bit, and surprisingly, well, not quite yet, I guess. Okay, jumping the gun. So the witch is trying to get her spell out again, and she's unable to, and it seems like the chains activate and keep her still for the time being, at least. And here's another ad for Afterlift. Jason Liu and Chip Zdarsky. Car chases, demon bounty hunters, and finding your place in the world. And the next one. Okay, so this might be something interesting from Dark Horse. I'll check it out as well. Looks like it won a Will Eisner, or was it at least nominated? Not won it. Okay, so moving along here. This might be a trade. I'm sorry. Moving along here. She kind of drew these kind of funny because she looks kind of cross-eyed in both of these. And surprise, surprise, when Imogen plants a kiss on Lady Baltimore, full on, and she says, oops, it appears like I carried away. So I guess there's something going on there. I don't know if Lady Baltimore has got proclivities towards both sexes, but we may find out in the future. So they are back at it looks like Trevelyan Island, just off the northeast coast of England, and they've got the witch there. They're watching her, making sure she doesn't get away, and they go to check the tomb in which Lord Baltimore sleeps in his permanent sleep. And they go in there and they find out the body is still there. So he is not alive. And they said, she just says to him, I know you wanted him to be some kind of ray of hope that the Nazis are closing in, because it's like World War II. And there's a thinly veiled analogy to what's going on in our country, I think, to also what they're using in this story. But depending on what side you're in. So it looks like he's not going to get any help against the Nazis, and that's not a good thing. But she starts to say some words to her late husband when suddenly they get attacked by a bunch of harpies, and it looks to be some witches and things that have come to free Yelena. So this is actually a pretty good comic, a very interesting comic. I wish I would have read the first arc and I would know more about it. But right now, um, I liked it enough that I will check out the second issue of this arc. I hope you enjoyed this review as well. Let's look at some of this. The Water is Rising. This is Post York by James Romberger. And there's a couple people saying some nice things about it. Jeff Lemire, Matt Kent, and Alice Cott. And some Mike Mignola paraphernalia there. And Young Hellboy, The Hidden Land. Okay, I don't know if that's a floppy or if that's a trade, but this is a recommend. I hope you would enjoy it. I thank you for stopping by and listening to my review as always. Please like, please subscribe if you haven't. Please leave comments, and we'll see you next time. I think tonight I am going to do Rabid World, and that is a Scout Comics. So that might be interesting. You want to check that out as well. Looks like it's a pretty good story. I just read a few of the pages. But that's tonight, Rabid World. But this, Lady Baltimore, is definitely a recommend. So thanks for stopping by the Temple of Tomes. As always, this is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.